Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome, Soras, Philos, friends, rowers, and rosebuds, anybody, everybody who's out there watching. I just realized that my background is wrong and it doesn't say captivating conversations, but that's okay because I don't have time to change it because, we're here. You know who I am. Okay, I'm your host, Sora Lauren T. Bates, life member number 1704. All of the stuff that I do, y'all know what it is. Today we have with us a very, very special guest who took time out of her very busy schedule to come on the show today. So thank you. Her name is Sora Monica Conyears-Ervin, and she is the city treasurer for Chicago. Okay. Now listen, I told y'all last time we was gonna be talking about money, and I had somebody important that was gonna be coming on to talk about money and how to balance budgets. She balances a 10 billion, that's right, billion with the B budget, okay, for the city of Chicago, which is in the top 5 largest cities in America. So I think she's doing some things. So let me give you a little bit about her. We're going to jump right into these questions today. So she is currently a member of Theta Chi Sigma, which is in Oak Park, Illinois. Is some heavy hitters in that chapter, in case y'all didn't know. She became a member in the Delta Beta chapter in spring of 1996, which is Eastern Illinois University. She made history as becoming the first woman to be elected to the office of city treasurer. Okay, that means she ran and she won because we do that. And she is a former state representative for the 10th district, which for the 10th district as well. So, okay, she's a wife, she's a mom. She has a daughter who is going to be her legacy, and that's just amazing. Welcome, Sora Conyears-Ervin, to the show. Let's give her a round of applause. Woo! Round of applause. I'm a goofball, okay? This is just how I am. I'm goofy. And the audience, they know that already, but since we just met today, now you know too. All right. So thank you so much for coming on to the show. So we're just gonna jump right in. So first question, how does someone make an efficient budget?
So first of all, Sora, I am loving your energy. When I say I love your energy, I love your energy.
Thank
Like
you.
I've had a long day, and I just tell you, this is what I love about the women of Sigma Gamma Rho. You just gave me
Period.
life. I just want you to know that, Sora.
Oh, thank
So
you. Thank
I
you.
can see why you are the commentator for these segments. Okay. So, greetings, sorors, my lovely sorors, the beautiful ladies of Sigma Gamma Rho. I am so excited to talk about this topic because we talk a lot about physical health,
Mm-hmm.
especially throughout this pandemic, right, that we've been through. We
Mm-hmm.
talk about mental health.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were not born into a family of means, which is most people,
Mm-hmm.
then you really don't hear the conversation about financial health.
Yep.
And so, as the treasurer of Chicago, as Soror said, that is something that I focus on. So, when I was elected into office 4 years ago now, I was just reelected, by the way. Thank you to so many sorors that helped. Yay. But when I was initially elected 4 years ago, for me, as being the first treasurer that we even know of in Chicago's history that was elected into the role without being appointed first. I was elected by the people. And I always tell residents why that is so significant. Because when
Mm-hmm.
you're elected by the people, then that's who you work for,
Yep.
right? You work for the people that put you there. And so that's important to me. And so I look at my role, and Soror mentioned that I manage a $10 billion budget, which I do. And I'm excited about that, especially being a young lady born and raised in Chicago. And I was born in Inglewood, raised on the West Side. And so, first in my family to go to college. So I can appreciate that I'm the investor for the city's funds. I
Mm-hmm.
manage taxpayer dollars. I always tell taxpayers that I'm their personal banker. So that's what I do. That's my, as they say, 9 to 5, right?
Mm.
But I would always tell my staff when I came into office 4 years ago, if all we're doing is investing money, and we're making money, right? We're making money for taxpayers. But if we're just investing money and not changing lives, for me to be that this young lady in this role elected by the people, I have to represent the everyday citizen.
Yep.
And so I really focus on changing lives. So I'm grateful to have this conversation. I hope that it helps. But I have to tell you, Sorors, we have to be intentional in talking about financial health.
Yes, we
I
do.
see so many people, and I mean, I'm talking about, y'all, we be looking good. Black women in general, Black men, I mean, we be looking good.
Mm-hmm.
What I have found though is that many times everything we own is on our bodies.
Yes.
On our bodies. We don't have a savings.
Nope.
We don't have 401ks.
Nope.
We don't own real estate. We
Investment
don't own,
accounts.
hey, we don't own other property. We have to talk about building generational wealth, because here's what happens. If we do not have these conversations,
Mm-hmm.
then this cycle
Will continue.
continues. Because there's a statement that a child cannot be what a child does not see. So
Mm-hmm.
if this is what a child sees, that everything you own is on your body, then now this cycle continues.
Yep.
And we have to break that. And so I'm glad, Soror, that we're talking about this. Now, I'm sure I done answered 5 questions in one.
And that's all right, because I can always come with more questions. So I have a financial background. I worked in the mortgage industry for 10 years. So I'm very well versed
Oh,
in,
yes.
yeah, I learned all about all of that, 401ks, K1s, 1065. Those are tax statements for S corps, partnership income, all of those types of things. So I'm very well versed in that. And investing, it's just like, in my mind, when I see things where people are like going crazy, like, we just had this whole thing about these Nikes. Great. Buy all the Nikes. You are helping my stock portfolio. I
Wow.
appreciate each and every one of you stores that went out and sold out them shoes that are uncomfortable, in my opinion, because I don't have flat feet. So I don't wear a lot of Nike shoes, but that's just me. But I appreciate y'all because you helped my portfolio do better, because y'all sold out a shoe for Nike for $180 a pop. That just helped me out. Thank you. Appreciate
Wow.
y'all.
Wow.
We've talked about financial literacy somewhat, but not in the extent of what we're going to get into today. So,
Yes.
that's one of my like passion projects, things I'm passionate about, after, learning all of this stuff that I probably never would have learned if I hadn't worked where I was to have access to this information. And it's definitely something that's not taught in schools, but it should be, you know, and
And it
this,
should be. It's so,
yeah.
so what I always tell residents is that if you were born into a family like me of humble beginnings,
Mm-hmm.
financial health is not necessarily something that's spoken at the dinner table.
Ever.
And it's unfortunate, to your point, Soror, that it's really not taught in schools.
No.
And it's
Unless you're in
so
finance or like economics or something like that, which
correct,
a lot of us are not in. I'm just being honest.
correct. And it's very unfortunate. When I went off to school, I was the first in my family to go to college. And because I watched my single mother struggle raising her 3 girls, I said to myself, I'm going to go off and make a lot of money. Let me go to college. And I cannot tell you what made me pursue a degree in finance. I knew no one in finance, but I think maybe because I knew someone in accounting and I was going to start in accounting. And then when
Mm,
I pursued accounting in college, I was like, I got cost accounting. I remember that. I'll never forget it. When I got to cost accounting, I said, oh no, this isn't for me.
This is not it.
This is not it. So I switched to finance and I loved it. I said, okay, I get it. I make things happen. I invest. I'm a financial analyst. I love this. I love to analyze. And so that is what I did. I pursued my degree in finance at EIU, which I did join our lovely organization. I know we'll talk about that in a minute. But when I graduated, I was a young Black female in corporate America, and I thought that I was really doing well. Went off to get my MBA in finance, but little did I know that I would go into politics and be able to utilize my degrees in finance and my desire, my heart for public service. You bridge those together, and becoming city treasurer was a no-brainer. So running for office as city treasurer was just so fulfilling for me. I love what I do because I feel like we need more people like us to represent us. And so I can have these conversations because I understand, right? I understand. We're busy. We're busy. When you talk about balancing a checkbook, to be honest with you, that sounds overwhelming.
It can be if you don't know how. If you don't know how, it can be overwhelming and give you like a lot of anxiety.
Absolutely. And so one thing, so we'd rather say, okay, forget it. We're not gonna deal with that, right?
Right.
But in fact, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. And so what I have found is to just start somewhere. And some people also are intimidated by a budget because we may not tend to stick to it.
Yes.
And so I tell people, don't be intimidated by that, because imagine if you didn't have the budget, you'll probably really blow it out the water, right?
Right.
And so at least having a guide. So first of all, I want you to stick to your budget.
Yes, that's
but
important.
I also understand that things happen, and I understand that we're not perfect. And so I just ask, the best way is to at least prepare a budget. So that gives you an idea of how much you should be spending, right? Sometimes we may overspend, but it gives you an idea so that you don't go too far. You'll be amazed at how a budget can help, even if you don't 100% stick to it.
Yeah. I found like when I'm budgeting, it's about seeing what's there, knowing what's there, and then it's just like, okay, I've looked at my budget and like, do I really need this? Am I really using this? No. Okay, I can cancel that. I can get rid of this because I'm not using it and it's just a waste of my money. If you have a membership to a certain gym that's only $10 a month and you never go, cancel it. It's only $10, but it's your $10. Cancel it because you're not using it. It's pointless.
Now,
you know,
so you just said
things like that.
So what we always tell people is that the quickest way of cleaning up a budget is looking at your, this is amazing, looking at your routine subscriptions. You will be amazed. Now, I'm going to say I'm on a health kick, so I'm not going to encourage you to cancel the health club subscription. I'm going to encourage you to utilize
it. If you don't use it,
I know, but I want us to use it. But to your point though, Soror, because I get the principle. To your point, we have subscriptions. I'll be like I have every newspaper subscription you can name, right? Do I read them? Like sometimes I may go into one and it says "Good to see you," right? It may not have seen me in 3 months or something like that.
Haven't seen you in a while.
Or like you have cable channels that you don't watch and you're paying so look at your subscriptions, especially when there's automated payments. You know what? That's why
that's what gets
places love for you to do automated payments, because you set it up and you forget about it. They love it. That's how they become rich. Off of your Soror, when you say $10 a month, they always want to encourage you to $10 a month, $20. They say, oh, it's just 20 a month. You know why they do that? Because they got 1 million people that's doing $20 a month that's not utilizing it. That's literally free
Exactly.
money.
Exactly.
So now that's
Right.
something right there. Now I'm gonna tell you, that's a message right there for the day.
Yeah. Stop giving your money away. There are plenty
Yes,
of apps that you can download if
yes,
you are, an Android or iPhone. It don't matter which one. They in the
yes,
Google Play Store, they in the Apple Store. There are
yes,
plenty of apps that will go through if you give them access to your bank account and will
yes.
tell you what app subscriptions you have and how often, like
That's right.
what it when it's paid every month for stuff that you don't use, and it tells you what it is. So if you got Hulu and Netflix and whatever else and Shoe Dazzle and all this other kind of stuff that you're not using or you forget to skip, don't, because when you forget to skip it, the money is still gone.
That's
So
right.
it helps you to kind of see where your money is going.
That's right.
Another
And
thing,
never look at it that it's too little. Don't
it's
ever do that.
exactly because there's no amount is too small, and you never know how that little bit of money can be put somewhere else and help you
Yes,
to make money. I
yes.
also would suggest invest or opening a high yield savings account. I'm
That's
just saying,
right. That's right.
get you
And
one where it increases. And not at a regular bank, because most regular banks don't have high yield savings accounts, and then you don't really save no money for real. Get one that's a high yield with an increase in rates. Help yourself. We
and you
need
can
knowledge
even
today.
Google, there was a website that I was going to share, but you can even Google high yield savings accounts.
Mm-hmm.
There are websites that you can go to that give you an entire list for the day of the yield for the day, the interest rate that you can receive on your money. And really, you'll be amazed. High yield savings accounts can be in not necessarily the traditional banking institutions that you think of. There
Right.
are other institutions, and your money is still FDIC insured. And
Yep.
so that's very easy to do, but you could certainly look at different websites where you will be able to look at all of the competition for the day and see
Mm-hmm.
who you may choose to open that account with.
And a lot of them is you don't have to have any money to open the account.
Correct.
You could just open
Correct.
the account and then make a transfer later or set up, direct deposit or however you want to
Yes.
do it after the fact. So,
Yes.
you know, there are things out there that are helpful to be beneficial to you financially so that you can get to whatever it is you want your next level to be.
So
So,
when you say next level to be, this is
mm-hmm.
my advice, the best advice I would give, because I'm feeling your vibe, right? I'm feeling it. So we have to invest for the future. You
Yes,
just said leading to the goal that you want to be. We cannot just look at today.
right.
We have to plan for the
Mm-hmm.
future. We have to plan for the future of our children, the future of our families, the future of us. Because at some point, you're going to get older,
Yep.
you're going to want to retire. And
Yep.
when you retire, what you don't want is to have to work when you are maybe at the elder age that you physically are unable, but you have to
Mm-hmm.
force yourself to go to work because you cannot afford to really retire.
Mm-hmm.
Those are very important points. I'd love to retire and go travel. I'd love to retire and my daughter be in college and I'm living my best life. Okay.
Right. That's
But
the
I have
dream.
to plan for that.
You
Now,
do.
what we have to understand is that some things happen on accident, but
Right.
not most things, right?
Right. Right.
So we have to be intentional about planning for our future. So when I talk about investing, I want to drop this on sorors too. One of the biggest misconceptions in financial health, I think, is that you need a lot of money to save.
You
You need a
don't.
lot of money to invest. That is
Mm-mm.
false.
Mm-mm.
Especially nowadays, they have all type of apps on your phone. You can download. You can start investing with $100. You can start playing with the stock market. You don't have to put in your life savings and be afraid that you'll lose it all. I would never suggest anything like that.
Start
You
small.
start small.
Start small.
Start small, and there's all type of apps that can show you. You don't have to have 2 degrees in finance to know how to do this.
Right.
Believe me.
And the best advice I ever heard when I first started investing, when I was trying to just like learn and navigate on my own, I read this article. It was an interview with Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett. He said, when it comes to investing, invest in things that you use every day.
That's right. You're investing in yourself.
So you invest in things that you use every day. You invest in things that people use every day. So prime example, I don't know how many shares in Disney at this point, a lot. Several years ago, before Disney Plus, I invested and bought shares in Disney. They had made an announcement of the 10 movies that were coming out that following year. One of them was an Avenger movie. It was Black Panther. It was The Lion King, the live action version, and a couple of other things. And in my mind, I was like, all of those movies are billion-dollar movies. Every single last one of them. They had 10 movies coming out. Most of them went $1 billion or more in revenue. I invested in Disney when the shares was like a little like $113. I don't know what they are now, but they're way more than that. So it's just like, some of it is education. Some of it is just like kind of Googling and reading, things like that. When you find something and you're just like, okay, yeah, I have stock in energy companies, gas companies, like everyday stuff that people use, entertainment companies, stuff that people use every day. That's the best thing that I've ever read, and it is so true. Invest in what you use every day, because those are things that could continue to make money because people need those things. You can invest in hospitals. They're never going away. I'm just saying. So
I totally agree. And I'll tell you as well, I always look at it as you're investing in yourself.
Right.
Because these are items that you purchase. And then when you can smile when you see the stock prices go up. But Soror, for me, what I always tell people, and obviously Soror is a more sophisticated investor now, right? But she had to start somewhere.
Right.
I tell people all the time, you can start small. Download the app and start investing with $100. But let me also share this before we get off, because I know we're approaching time in a little bit. But always tell people that the quickest and easiest way to build generational wealth is to purchase a home. Purchase a home. I want to talk in the simplest form that I know works. I know this works. You purchase a home and you pass it down, then that next generation pass it down. And if they don't pass it down by that point, they'll still be in the mindset of being a homeowner.
Right.
I know people that pay rent, and they pay more in their rent than I pay in my mortgage. And this is common, you all. This is common.
Very common.
And very common. All the time, if you can pay $1,500 in rent, which is cheap nowadays.
Yeah, very cheap.
If you can pay that, you can get a mortgage. And so it is so important that we understand that we have to invest in ourselves.
Yes.
When we spoke about subscriptions and just throwing away money, like if you're not using those subscriptions, so that's like doing an audit of your account, right?
Right.
But also when you're renting, You are investing in others. I want to encourage us to invest in ourselves. That's the same as when you're looking at stocks. They say, like for my daughter, of course, when I show her the stock market, when we watch MSNBC and we watch all that CNBC, and I say, you see that right there? I say crab. That's the ketchup. That's the ketchup we use. She's like, oh. And then I'll say, it may be, I don't know, something else. Like it could be Disney, for example. But it is things she can understand that language because this is what we utilize in our daily lives.
Right.
And so you can start small, but you gotta say one other thing. Please prepare for a rainy day.
Yes.
The fact is,
yes,
if you own a home, at some point the furnace is gonna have to be replaced.
Or the hot water heater, or your roof.
Come on, your stove may go out, your refrigerator may go out.
Yeah.
That if you don't own a home, your car may break down.
Right.
I mean, you name it. Some things happen. That's
life,
right?
That's life. Right.
We have to save for a rainy day. And let me say this. Don't think you have to save so much. Because I know some people say they don't have it to save. You can save $25 a pay period. It will, uh-oh, sorry, I dropped something. It will add up.
Yeah.
We gotta start somewhere. And then that $25 may grow to $50, but I want you to start somewhere.
Yep. So I know we didn't have our normal conversation today, but we covered all the questions that I was going to ask anyway, except for two of them. And that's quite all right. We are going to wrap this up because Madam Treasurer has another event to get to. And yes. So I hope that you all were paying attention. If you didn't have like a notepad or something, just rewind it and watch the conversation again and get them notes and them tips. Because she dropped a lot of information, valuable information. So it is important that we talk about finances, and we definitely need to talk about them more often. Money is not a secret, and it should not be a taboo conversation, period. I'm just saying. So that is going to do it for us today. I have some social media experts next time around, so be prepared for that. If you have any questions, as always, hit me up, captivatingconversations@gmail.com. I am your host, Soror Lauren T. Bates, life member number 1704, and I would like to thank the City of Chicago's Treasurer-Soror, Melissa Conyears-Ervin, because we're amazing and Sigma women do great things. All right, we will see y'all next time. Bye.
Love you, Soror. Soror Bates, you rock. I told you I'm ready for my next event. Thank you, Soror.
Thank you.